Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reason Effective podcast brought to you by myself, Uncommon Fossil, and joined as always by 10 Types.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
And we've had close to a full week of Pocket at this point. So I've been playing it every day. I assume you've been playing it every day as well?
Yes, I have played it every day. I think I checked my phone. It was around, well, how much time do you think you've been playing each day?
I put, honestly, at least an hour a day, I would say.
Okay, I think I've averaged around like 3 hours a day. Apparently, on the day it dropped, I played it for 9 hours, according to my phone.
It came in like late in the day when it
Yeah,
actually
no. So
dropped.
most of the
So,
time, it was like at midnight. So like I
uh-oh.
played the night. What's that about?
I think it's okay. A text popped up anyway, and
The
it kind of
classic.
popped up on
Yeah,
on the screen. And anyway, it whatever. The
yeah.
election's
Where's
coming up, and it's I'm recording for the
Oh
election,
yes, there's a lot of
and
spam.
I'm
Yeah.
getting massive spam on from every side. So anyway,
Yes, no, I've hopefully on watching this YouTube video, if you, especially if you live in the States, presumably if you don't live in the States, you're not getting ads about that. But yeah, they're like all over the place. Hopefully you didn't get one before this video because like you keep seeing the same ones over and over. But anyways, that this is obviously not what this is about. Today we're
no.
talking about Pocket and I've been playing it a bunch. It's pretty given my one sentence rundown, it's solid with potential, but is far from perfect as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point, it's about to me trying to get a collection of, well, not trying to get like a viable deck or two is what I'm trying to do, and I don't have that yet. I re-rolled multiple times though, so I was,
Yes. So tell me about that. I haven't been really paying attention to that. I don't know if I've been lucky or unlucky, but I've just gone with what I have, and I have some solid stuff. I'm at level 16 as well, and we're both playing free, right?
yeah, free to play, and I haven't done the 2 weeks of the whatever premium pass or whatever they call it. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, at some point, I may do that. My recommendation is wait because you get a lot early days with the next like in full set drops. We're not going to probably it's going to be harder to get cards. That's so I'm thinking like that's going to be better at that point. If you want to try that out, but so and I was doing that maybe 2 hours a day. I'm at level 12. So you're ahead of me there. So I got the first set, and I think I rerolled like 6 to 8 times. I gotta say, so it burned a bunch of times. At one point, I had two accounts I was going. So I had with it, I had on two occasions, I got after opening like 200 to 300 cards. So whatever that is, you can divide that by five for packs. I got to two Marowak EXs and two Articuno EXs. I got that twice, which isn't
That
bad.
seems good. That
It
seems like
is,
Articuno EX is a card you could play just two of that.
well,
And you got a deck. I mean, you need some trainers, but you can get the trainers.
yeah, I
Um,
could have crafted. I mean, the most I got was one Misty, so I could have crafted another Misty.
yeah. I
And
mean, you
it,
could play even without the Misties. Like, it's not like obviously the Misties are very good for the deck, but you could play. Like, I have a friend who has been playing and got two Articunos and Articuno EXs and just put in a bunch of like random trainers. It doesn't have any Misties and is still finding the deck pretty solid.
because it's three energy, right? And if you go first, you can't attach energy. So we'll talk about the gameplay at some point too. And when I played Misty, I won Misty. I every time I flipped tails first time. I played it like four times. I got Misties into play, and it never got an energy. So that was very disheartening. And the Marowak is also just flipping crazy. You go, with all the coin flipping, and it's rather, it's not unenjoyable, right? Having a deck that's that coin flip basic, dependent. So I wasn't sure that I really wanted to live in that world. So, and I also felt like I wasn't getting more cards to more options. So I wanted to do something else. So one of the sets on the very first pack I opened after the first pack, which is set, right? It's fixed. I pulled a Mewtwo EX alternate art. So I'm like,
Mhm.
that's a keeper. But you know what I did? I rerolled that one too because then like after pulling 200 cards, I had nothing else that was remotely playable. I'm like, this, and I can't craft another EX, right? That's like 2 months of packs or something like that. So what I have now, this is one I keep. The first pack I pulled, I got a Giovanni. That's solid. Second pack I
Yep.
pulled, got a Giovanni. Third pack I pulled, Mewtwo EX immersive art. And
Fancy.
so that's nice. And now
Mhm.
I have three Mewtwo EXs. Two of them are immersive. One of them is alternate art. I wish I had obviously only had. I wish the other was some other EX. And I have two. Was it Gengar EXs? Which I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah, I will say I pulled the this was pretty crazy. This was like I don't remember when it was. How do I see my collection? Oh, and I'm playing so we're like on our computers and on our phone. It's like it's a big mess. So
yeah,
also I'm here looking at it, and as I scroll, so you can look at your collection, but as you scroll,
yes,
the number disappears for the amount of cards you have, which is kind of annoying. So, but anyways, I
yeah.
pulled the I don't know the rarities, but it's this 2-star Gengar EX. I pulled them back to back, which was kind of funny. It's not like that good of a card, I feel like. I don't know. Have you played with the Gengar EX yet?
No, because I don't have the other cards for the deck at all, and I don't think well, I think it's not that all that strong. So I mean, they're
Yeah.
two different alternate arts. I have two alternate arts of different ones.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I haven't done that, but I'm close to what I need is I need a Gardevoir, and I don't have any Ralts either. But I can craft the Ralts, but right now it would cost me 430 pack points to craft. I need a Gardevoir. That's the biggest thing. I haven't pulled any Sabrinas yet either.
What are the yeah? I haven't.
So
Well,
what?
I've only opened the Mewtwo pack. So I got the Marowak EX deck. I have not really enjoyed playing that deck. I mean, it's not like the worst experience, but it's kind of bad. In
Yeah,
terms of the enjoyment. So what it does is you flip. I'll pull it up here. It says it does 80 for each heads on a double coin flip,
right.
and then it's 2 fighting energy. It's a stage 1 EX, and it's ultimately it's not very consistent, obviously, with the double coin flip.
Right.
And there was this like pretty big animation with the EX attacking, right?
Yes, a
Uh,
lot of times you get the big animation and it does zero damage, right?
yeah, yeah. So that's something, but
Yeah,
we'll talk about the animations later, I'm sure.
okay, yeah. But no, look, if you flip double tails or whatever other attacks also obviously can do nothing too. You get the big it smashes down and like shakes the whole board, and then in like all the damage counters update, but with no change. It's like it's a little I don't know, whatever. The other thing is with the deck I have, I didn't have like the I just had Sandslash is the other one in the deck, and I'm still that's my best deck right now. Is Mer the Mer is the
Marowak
Marok
EX.
EX. I only have one EX. I have two of the single prize, which isn't bad. Because like the Sandslash is the other attacker, and so most of them are two energy attackers, and you can't attach energy turn one, and you attach energy, and then if you attach the active, you hope it's going to get knocked out on your first turn or your second turn. It's very sketchy. If you don't get started right, you're out of the game as well.
I guess so. It depends what your opponent's doing as well. But well, I think let's save on the gameplay and let's talk
Yeah.
about our experiences. So do you have more stuff to say about yours?
No,
Like
so
your account and stuff you
my
have?
account, I mean, at this point, I've got, yeah, so I have the Mewtwo, which is obviously, I think, one of the top decks. Mewtwo and Pikachu, from what I can see, are the top decks out there. I'm close to getting Mewtwo, so when I get that, if I get like just a Gardevoir, I can kind of get the deck. And even if I don't have the Sabrinas, I can play it without that. But I think without the Gardevoirs, I'm not really
Yeah.
trying it out.
If only we
Um,
had trading, because I got 5 Gardevoirs.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Like at this point, I have three Mewtwo EXs, two immersives, one alternate art. So, will I be able to get like another EX for it? Or I honestly, if it was like trading like in PTCG, I could probably get at least two regular RDXs for an immersive art, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, at least probably more. I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but probably that's not going to be the case. But that'll help finish the collections or the decks once trading comes. And they're trying to. I'm not sure what they're going to do about that. I'm close to getting a Dragonite deck as well as because I'm with the Mewtwo. I
Oh,
have the.
I have the dragon. So I didn't reroll. I wasn't thinking about that. I have the Marowak deck, the
Mhm.
two Marowak, like the Marowak EX plus Sandslash deck.
Yeah.
I have. I finally got Wheezing. Wheezing's been really fun. I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Dragonite, you can play them together, but I did get that.
Yeah,
And I've
Dragonite.
not crafted anything. Wonder Picks. Are you using your Wonder Picks like a lot? Are you kind
Yeah,
of
I
saving
am
them?
using them. At first, because right, part of it is like the tickets and what to do with it. You asked me, and at first I wasn't spending them. Now I'm spending them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for both for Wonder Picks, to get like I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to use the Wonder Picks. Obviously, like if I see like I need a second Gardevoir, so if there's a Gardevoir there, I would Wonder Pick that for sure. There was like Zapdos EX. I was like, do I want to use the three, try to do 3 tickets on that or not? It's like, I didn't do that, but trying to figure out how to use the Wonder Picks is its own thing, which I don't certainly haven't sorted out yet. But Wonder
Yeah.
Picks, obviously the odds are much better, right? 1 in 5 of getting that card you want. So it's worth. I think it's good. It's going to be important to use the Wonder Picks.
Yeah, and then I do have 2 Mewtwo EXs and a bunch of Gardevoirs. I do need one more Curlia, and then I don't have any Sabrinas because that's in a different. It's at the Charizard pack, I think, and
Yeah.
I've essentially only opened. I might have only opened the Mewtwo pack
Mhm.
outside of like some Wonder Picks. Um,
Yeah.
so I do need a Curlia, and yeah,
Now the curly, I think is just. I think it's 70 pack points, which you have at this point.
hmm
So you could
and so is Sabrina as well, right? That's just 70, I
yes,
think.
that's 70. What I would do, like with the Sabrinas, like because that's 2 stars. So I think in a Wonder Pick, if that's the highest rarity, 2 diamonds. I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. 2 diamonds.
Yeah,
That's only 1 pack, only 1 Wonder Pick point to open. So if there's like a Sabrina in a pack, and it's only one takes one Wonder point, then I try that because that's a good way to me. I think that's a good use to try to get some Sabrinas.
yeah, definitely. Oh, I clicked on. This is weird. So yeah, I'll probably do that if there's a Sabrina and a Curly in the same. Oh wait, no, those can't be in the same pack. So yeah, definitely trying to finish that deck out. And it seems like kind of cool. I don't know. We'll talk about that some.
Mhm.
It's like it's very popular, I think.
The
So
which the Dragonite,
no, the Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Not the dragon. I mean, I've seen the Dragonite deck some, but yeah. Oh, I also kind of want to try some like Venusaur. Yeah, I pulled a Venusaur EX, then I just pulled a regular Venusaur as well.
okay.
Might be interested in playing some stuff with that. And we'll talk about that a little later. And then yeah, I also start. So, you've opened some other pack. What packs like
Yeah,
have
I've
you
opened
opened?
mostly the Mewtwo packs. I've opened some, like especially there's 5 EXs in each pack, I believe. So at this point, I have two of the EXs, and I pulled a third. So at some point, it's like obviously I'd like the other EXs, but most of the cards are just unusable that I'm pulling at this point because I already have 2 copies of them. So I pulled some Charizard packs because I do want to get Sabrina, and if I pull enough Charizard packs, I'll get that. And I've also pulled a few of the Pikachu. Also, with the game starting, you've got besides your opening packs and you're doing Wonder Picks, you got daily challenges, getting upping your whatever your level is, right? Your
Hmm
is important. But so for gameplay, you can either do the verses against people, and I haven't done so much of that, or you can do the missions, and I focus more on the missions.
Yeah,
It
I've like almost completed the solo things, right?
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I've almost completed that. I just have 3 more challenges on the expert solo battle. Um,
Now,
I'm
when
at 27 of 30 for that.
okay, so when you say you've completed, you've unlocked all the rewards.
Yeah. And then there's like the one I can do pretty easily. It's just like take an extra point or something, a
Yeah.
few more points. But then the one is they're like certain types, and I don't really have. I think it's fire
Yeah.
and
That
lightning, and I don't have like any fire and lightning Pokemon that are really worth anything at all that can really do damage. So I just like can't really do those challenges. I have like my best fire. I do have Scorch, so I could try that. I only have one Sizzlipede though, but the Scorch isn't very good, especially on its own. Specifically, it's not very good. Moltres EX is, I'm pretty sure, by far the best fire Pokemon, and I just can't pull that with the Mewtwo pack, so I've just
right.
kind of ignored that for now. And then with what is it with lightning? Nothing super spectacular here either. So I
R-
might be able to get the lightning one done at some point just by like getting lucky. But I don't really feel like grinding the same thing over and over and not getting that many rewards.
Right, because as you move up on the missions, the decks get a lot better you're playing against, and if you're right, so that's partly why I've started opening the Charizard pack because you will pull more Fire Pokemon in the Pikachu pack, so you get more Lightning Pokemon. So it gives me a few options, right? Because like initially I had like a Dynamo, and so I would like to get the knockout, I was like attacking with Farfetch'd a bunch or something like that, and then I try to finish them off with Dynamo. And, and
Yeah.
and I would lose the game, but I was like, okay, I got one like knockout with what I needed to, and it's not very fun. And I think I had at one point I only had two fire Pokemon. I think one of them's a Heatmore. It does 30 for one energy, and I
Mhm.
think I had
Yeah.
like a Sandalip, but I didn't have even the Salazzle at that point. And that was what I had for the so that was partly why I'm mixing things up, and also with the Wonder Picks since I haven't pulled some of these other packs. If it has again the cost is cheap and it's got a lot of cards that I don't have any copies of. It's just a way to kind of grow the collection a little bit to help out with missions and stuff like that.
Yeah. How many cards do you have in total?
So
I have 405.
yeah, I have 269. So
Nice.
that's
So
so you have more.
yeah. Yeah, I have more.
And I think I had like close to 3 or 350 at one with the one account. But then, like I said, I didn't. I had the four EXs, and then I just wouldn't get any more EXs than that. And I was like going, and I wasn't getting good like stage twos or stuff either. So I felt like, I had gone through what I felt like was most of the early pack experience, and I really wasn't getting anything particularly good. And like I said, I had Marowak largely, and I didn't want to just live on that. I don't think for the next 3 months.
Yeah, I kind of wish I went with the Executor EX. I feel like that would be more my style.
Yeah,
But I'm certainly fine with this. I feel like the re-rolling, like it's kind of, and there are a few things like this. This is kind of how like the beta and a lot of the early game stuff is kind of like going. Um, and it's like, well, what exactly is Pokemon like? Like if you're a new person who hasn't like isn't is just downloading the app, doesn't really know anything about it at all, and just like goes in. Um, I feel like then you wouldn't like know about something like re-rolling. It's not really presented to you much.
right.
And so I feel like it's like not that's not great. You want to make the new player experience fair. It doesn't mean like it's not like you shouldn't be rewarded for having more knowledge, but that should be in like I don't know. I feel like these are things that like they should be things that are discoverable. Like eventually, like you're not gonna if you're a brand new player, you're not gonna understand re-rolling necessarily. Although, like if you're brand new to like a mobile games and the poke and like just haven't been paying attention to pocket stuff.
Right. I mean, for the re-rolling, they would have to present that to you because obviously you might find it eventually, but the longer you've been playing, the less likely you want to do that too. Because
Yeah,
so yeah, they probably should have presented that. Obviously, look, it's out there on the internet. So if you, but for I guess the argument would be it's not that much of a downside if you don't re-roll most of the time.
yeah.
But
Like I mean, I don't know if I've been lucky or unlucky, but I haven't rolled. I was never really considering doing that, and I've been happy. Like I've definitely it's taken time. I've been playing a bunch and trying to level up and stuff. Because leveling up that's like is that the main way to get extra stuff
yeah,
after the initial period?
I
And so
think
you do that through what? Just like playing matches?
playing matches, yeah, as you complete, obviously the missions get you up. So I'm at 12. You said were you at 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been playing a couple more days than I have. So things are starting to flatten out between where I am and you are, um, be- a little bit, right? Have you seen the game that you're like making less progress in terms of packs at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I'm only getting like a few packs a day on in the Wonder Picks.
Okay.
And they added the weird like Chansey and Meow thing, which is like kind of silly. I don't really get the point of that. Like it's kind of a whole lot of nothing. And
Well,
yeah.
right there's the so I have pulled one of the what is the Meowth with the stamp on it. So
Oh, I don't have any Meowth. I want Meowth as a card, but I haven't pulled any from any of the packs, and
let me
I'm kind of
see what
annoyed
I
about that
have.
because there's like I've opened like 10 of the packs because they're or the Wonder Picks because they're free, and
Yeah.
I haven't hit a Meowth yet, so that's unfortunate.
I mean, now the deck builder. Let me talk. I'm a part of it because I'm scrolling through trying to find things. So I don't like the deck builder. There's some issues the way it spaces out the alternate arts. They're not grouped with the regular arts. I don't think
Yeah.
ever, and that's not good. So I have to like if you're building a deck like a grass deck that's at the beginning, you got to scroll down to the bottom to see what you have and don't have. Plus, even the trainers like um, the trainers that are from the packs are with one place. The train like Professor's research is in a different place, and I think the let's see, the Meowth in the Meowths. No, I guess so the Meowth is with with the regular Pokemon. So I have one Meowth. I guess that's it. I didn't. Okay, I don't have a regular art Meowth. No, I do. I have one regular art Meowth, and I have one of the stamped Meowth alternate art. So let's go.
Yay. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, kind of weird, but
Eh,
yeah, I think the deck builder's like fine.
But
It's
like
like
the yeah, like the two Meowths don't stack. The one Meowth's at the top of the colorless, the other Meowth's at the bottom of the colorless section. So
yeah,
I've
no,
just
that's a bit of an issue, but
and like I said, the fact that the professor's research is different from all of the other supporters where they appear in the lists. It's just it's not as logical as it could be. I think so. But again,
yeah,
that's
there is like an advanced like you can search by wait, what can you search by?
by type.
Oh no, I guess you can't just search by trainers. Oh no, yeah, you can search by different like trainer types. Pokemon tool?
This is what in the deck builder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought what?
I was just looking at the viewer, but a lot of it's the same,
Wait,
right?
so that but there aren't tools in Pocket. So I guess they're gonna be tools.
Is that okay? Hang on. So I haven't seen this. So what you're under the edit? All right, clicked edit, and then type. Oh, under wait.
Like the search thing. You say search.
Oh, in the search area.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. I haven't actually done the search thing, so I take back some of the things I said. I haven't fully. So that'll make things. But I didn't. Oh, there's a lot of options here, so I didn't know about that. So I'm glad we're having this here to say. So yeah, items, tools.
Which aren't in the game right now, as far as I'm aware, unless I've just like missed them.
No, I
But
don't think so. No, I didn't think tools were coming, but I guess they
oh, it's
are.
you. It's fossil.
Yeah, so there's items and there's items fossil, which is kind of
Which,
weird.
by the way, I think they're kind of like bad. I mean, not like necessarily bad in terms of value. I think they're like kind of complicated, which isn't.
The
There are a few things
fossils.
that are like kind of complicated. Like fossils in the regular Pokemon TCG are kind of complicated, and the Pocket's supposed to be simple, and it's not that simple. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess
yeah,
they figure it's part of the game. Now you do get a prize for knocking out a fossil. I found out,
yeah.
which you don't in the regular TCG, or do you?
No, you do.
You
You do.
do. All right.
Yeah.
I'll just
I
like.
was talking to someone else also was confused by it. Oh, okay. Technically, with the like original fossil cards, you wouldn't get a prize.
Okay.
But that was like a long time ago. I don't know when that was changed, but
All right. I'm thinking.
it's been quite a while.
I'm thinking of something like Lily's Pokédoll that you don't get a prize for, but
Yeah.
that's not a fossil.
No.
I mean, it's kind of right. It's an item that becomes a Pokemon, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a fossil. So right. Once the fossil's in play, it's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um,
But what do you want to talk about next? Or is there more stuff to talk about here? Oh,
uh,
one other thing. So you can scroll like by dragging, and then there's also the scroll
yeah,
wheel on the side. But if you switch between the two and are scrolling in the same direction with your like finger or your mouse, which I'm doing now, it'll
yeah,
like scroll in opposite directions, which is kind of silly. But I mean, it like isn't that bad, and it might be the most logical way to do it. But still,
yeah. No, I mean, no. I think look, getting cards. So I have 3 Giovanni. I'm glad for that. So I do have 1 Koga. So let's go. I'm also working
I
on.
have 5 Kogos.
So I need more Kogas because I also Koga Arbok. That's my 3rd deck that I'm closest to
Wait,
building.
with Arbok, wait, what's
With
the deck? I haven't really been looking at decks too much,
I
but
looked
that
at
might be one of the decks I built.
so what with Arbok and coughing, wheezing
Oh, I've been playing that with the yeah, I've been
with
actually
Koga.
playing that,
So
and that's like fun.
yeah, I'd like to do it. The stage 3. I mean, the 3 diamonds aren't that cheap to craft. So
Yeah, no, I just pulled some Weezings eventually, and I've been wonder picking them as well.
yeah, I have 1 wheezing, which I really need, which I need for the Dragonite deck, the one the one I'm targeting, and I don't have any mucks yet. So and I don't think I want to like spend
Wait,
3.
Muck and Arbok?
Yeah, it has Arbok, Muck, and Wheezing. The
Okay,
list
I don't play Muck in this. I just put Farfetch. I mean, I just like made this. I didn't look at anything online, so
Okay.
I don't like that the Arbok and Ekans and then the Coffee and Wheezing aren't next to each other. Like that's weird. Like the basics are separate. It's all the basics. Wait, no, how's this
Oh, how
sorted? I
is
don't
that
know
what
how
they
this is
do?
sorted. So it's Ekans, Coughing, Arbok, Wheezing, Farfetched. In this list. It could be the order that I added them, but I
Oh,
don't think that's the order.
yeah, okay.
The deck.
I think in the bottom in the area where it lists the cards for selecting, they'll be together. But yeah, I mean all the Pokemon are first at the in the deck thing and all the trainers after, but yeah, I think it has to do with the order you put them in somewhat. So yeah, that could probably get a little better. The size of the cards, is a little small. You have the little zoom thing for it, so the deck build is okay, but I think it needs to get a little improved.
Yeah, ultimately, I feel like there are a lot of things that because it was in beta for a month, and I'm like kind of unsure of what the point of the beta was. I figured like there were some issues with the game right now that feel like they could be fixed, like smoothed out in beta,
Yeah.
and they're not. So I'm just kind of confused what the point of the beta was. Um,
Yeah, I mean, to
like
me, I think they just wanted to make sure the game worked and there weren't any big problems, which I don't think there were. But they didn't. I don't think they had any major updates during the debate. During the debate, I haven't fully paid attention to it, but I don't think they
yeah, I
did
wasn't paying that much attention
huge
to it either.
stuff to it. With that, so yeah. Oh, sorry, going off topic, but our other favorite Pokemon app, Live, with the update next week,
Yeah.
they two things. I don't know if you saw this. They're going to update. They're going to reduce the timer.
Oh, let's go. Wait, how
You
much?
guess what they're doing?
It's 15 seconds. No,
No, they're not touching that. They're dropping it from 25 to 20 minutes per player.
Oh boy, I can't
So,
wait for that to definitely matter.
so
That's
they
okay.
didn't. Yeah, so they didn't touch any. And we'll have to talk about the timer in Pocket because that's a little weird, I think. But
Yeah.
the other thing in Live, they said they're going to be adjusting the in-game economy. Now I don't know what that is because I think
That seems like you should spend all your stuff now so you can get cards.
right,
Right?
because I think we both think the live in-game economy is very generous for people. So I mean, it's hard, unless their plan is we're never gonna get live good, so we're just gonna give you every card instantly. It's probably gonna get tighter, I would think, the in-game economy. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, but back to
That's
back to
fine.
Pocket.
Those are probably both good changes though.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't say what the economy is. I think that's what the next update. But so we'll see what that is. Obviously, now Pocket can't to the in-game economy. What which we don't know yet as a free to play person. How well can you do with deck crafting? That's still one of the things which we don't know. And I
Yeah,
don't think
right now I'd say it feels like Pokemon TCG Online, where
Mhm.
you can get some good stuff, but you can't get all the good stuff, and it feels like you're like always a
Right.
step behind as well. Like I keep playing against a lot of my games are against decks that feel, especially at the beginning, they felt like they were super strong decks, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, I'm playing this like Marowaki X deck, which isn't like super terrible, but not like super great, and it felt a little bit like almost unpleasant. Kind of, I feel like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a little weird, but it felt like Pokemon TCG Online, to me, in good and bad, in the gameplay.
Yeah, and look, obviously they're looking to make money with PTCGO. They were actually Pokemon didn't make any money from the game, so that's its own questions. But if you're willing to pay money, you're entitled to some benefit. So, I think one of the questions is to what extent do collectors put money in the game? Like the more
Yeah,
collectors put money in the game, then we should be able to get good playable cards as budget players. But if it's only players putting money in the game, then you're gonna have to spend money to get the good cards, right? I think so. I'm hoping
yeah,
collectors take over. The other thing is with this whole the Chansey thing. I find you get the free picks each day, but now or regularly, but then for the Meowth, but then there's the Chansey thing, which I finally got one of those showed up. But that one there you need to spend your Wonder Pick hourglasses. So I think they're hoping that encourages people to drop money into the game as well.
Wait, but I thought the Chansey pick. No, I thought you can. Wait, how do they work? I thought you could get the Chansey and not the Chansey pick though.
The,
I think I pulled a Chansey
did you?
in one of the free picks. Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
it's the stamped one. It might not have been the stamped one. But also, why would you want that? I feel like even if you are a collector, it's like an exclusive item,
Right.
so that's like kind of a reason, but it's not a great reason because I mean, Chansey's not that popular of a Pokemon, and it's not that good of a Pokemon or fancy of a Pokemon. It's really. I feel like the whole Chansey thing is kind of whatever. I don't exactly get it, to be honest. I don't know why Pokemon wanted to do this.
I mean, they're trying. One of the things, which is I think why they're holding up on the trading thing, is they're trying to gauge the amount of money people will spend in between players and collectors, and seeing what money what people will spend money on, right? And then they want trading to kind of help people out, but they don't want it to stop people from spending money. So, which I think the whole Chansey thing is another test of will people spend money? Because the possibility is if you don't spend enough money to get the tickets, you might not. The Chansey thing might not come back, and you might never get it, right? So,
like the two chances. But also like in the shop, right? You have what is it? You have the like three things which I bought. Like I don't know if I should have bought them, but I did. The limited time event things. I spent
which were
my
those? Oh, under limited time events. Oh, I didn't spend any of
yeah
those because I have 9. Because I could buy all 3 things under the the Wonder Pick events, the
yeah
Meowth backdrop, Meowth cover, and the pink desk frame backdrop.
yeah.
Yeah, because I have enough tickets to buy all 3. So it's like
How many do you have right now?
right now I have 9 tickets, so each
Okay.
costs 3. So I could do that. I guess I'm assuming there's never going to be anything playable with these tickets.
Yeah, and also it says they're specifically Meowth ones. Like
Oh, that's what the tickets say.
it says, yeah,
Oh,
event
event
shop
shop.
ticket Meowth. Um, and it will be deleted after the exchange period ends. I have 4 extras and I bought everything in the shop.
So
Like, and it's just the second day. Like, what is this? This is just kind of like, it's so, like, yeah, it's like you don't need to put in, like, it's just kind of there and it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an issue with them giving away free stuff, but I feel like they should do stuff intentionally as well. So it's kind of weird. It feels like they're
yeah.
not exactly Pocket's weird. Like it doesn't. It feels like they're not exactly sure what they want it to be. That's how I've thought of it so far. Like, what is the goal of it? And we weren't exactly sure what it was. And Pokemon's not exactly sure what it was. And that if it's still kind of in beta is kind of how I'd describe it. Like it's not. I expect something. I expect big changes in the future. Like I don't know, we'll see. But what do you want to talk about next? I want to talk about Dex at some point.
Yeah, you want
But
to talk about Dex? Yeah, I mean, look, the whole in-game economy is just goofy, and we don't want to with so many currencies and what you spend on what and how you get what. It's we don't. It's overly complicated.
yeah,
I think.
it feels a little like cheap mobile game in that aspect with the too many currencies. Like they're not really that meaningful, and also it complicates things, and it also removes strategy. Like if you had a bunch of currencies, you could. I think it would be if there's just one currency that I think that would just make, or just like a few currencies,
Yeah,
then it would make more sense. I don't think I haven't found the economy that hard to like figure out so far, but it's not, it's kind of whatever as well.
yeah, and especially look, it's a monetized game, so they're going to be adjusting the economy, whether it goes up or down. I don't know. The one thing I think I would like that I've seen other complaints too is the fact that you get only 5 pack points per pack means it's so much time to get like the pack points to buy one EX, right? It's kind of it's too hard, right? They either need to drop the cost or increase the pack points.
Yeah, pack points feel kind of irrelevant for the most part. They're like, oh, if you really need a card, it's like break glass in case of emergency type of thing, I feel like.
Right, one card.
And so I don't plan on using those. Well, there's a max I think you can have, but it's like 2,000 or something. So,
Yeah, two
I'm
thousand
not
five
super
hundred.
worried
Now,
about that.
but the one thing to keep in mind, I think the pack points are only usable as long as Charizard packs are available. Genetic Apex is available.
Oh, so will you
Oh,
not be able to get any more genetic Apex cards at like a point? That seems like a really big issue. Like if all of a
yeah.
sudden a new player joins and like you're getting demolished by like Misty, right? Because Misty's a good card, and then you can't get Misty,
Y-
or maybe like just like even a Pokemon, like
Yeah,
you
I
know.
mean rotation and like when are like these packs of it going to be available to get to buy as long as they're in standard format? I don't know. Or I think the pack points can only be used to buy genetic Apex cards. You can't use them to buy whatever the next set is.
Yeah, but that's fine then. Then waiting is still gonna be the right play.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like bad, presumably. But
yeah.
anyways, I
You
think
want to talk decks, right?
yeah. I also want to talk packs. I hope they're gonna. So how many packs and like cards, new cards, do you think they'll add? Let's just say like every year,
So I
or if
mean,
you can go a different timetable if you want.
yeah, I mean what I've seen, what people that data scrape the program. I don't know if that's legal or not. So I
Yeah,
didn't
that
do it.
definitely seems like not great.
I mean, they didn't like break into the server, but I don't think you're supposed to like. kind of break down the code. So what I've heard is they're expecting, and obviously assuming it was accurate, they still may change it based on what happens. But there's like mid-December a mini set, and then late January a full set. So that's like a month and a half to a mini set and 3 months to a full set, I think, is where they're
Okay,
looking.
which is like regular Pokemon.
And that's not crazy. So I
No.
four regular sets a year, or and maybe could be up to four mini sets. A pace like that's what I expect. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
that seems okay. I like things to move fast, just generally. And Pockets it's felt pretty slow. Like it's felt the games I've been playing have been felt pretty similar to Pokemon TCG Live, to be honest. The amount of actions per turn is obviously way lower,
Yeah,
and then the number of turns is higher, though it's not like that much higher. But it's felt like a lot of the key strategy is similar, which is good. I think a lot of people were
yeah,
saying, "Oh, this is like not the Pokemon TCG." It's definitely the Pokemon TCG, but
y-
it's not. It doesn't feel that much like a mobile game. Like I feel like mobile games. Like I've had my big issue with it so far. If I had to say one flaw, is that the games are way too slow. Like we'll talk about the timer, but I feel
hmm
like games are like 3 to 5 minutes, maybe more, like 3 to 6 or 7 minutes, maybe even 8. I've had some that go like long, but
right.
they're around like 3 to like 5 or 6, and these are something you should be able to do in um I feel like at most like 3 or 4 minutes should be like the max for a mobile game. Obviously, that reduced amount of strategy you can have, but in terms of being an actual mobile game, which obviously this is, I feel like it does need to be a little bit faster than it is right now. And also, it's slow because of the animation. Like there are animations that slow the game down. They kind of break things up. It doesn't feel fast and fluid. It feels it feels like the regular Pokemon TCG, but it's ultimately not really supposed to be that. And I mean, it's cool what it is, I guess, but some faster mode, at least, I feel like should be added. And then they could actually slow this down more to make things like more enjoyable just for different like groups of players.
Yeah, look, I think the overall time for a game's not bad, is what I'd say. The turns are a little long, and the turn timer I think what they decided to do is a little weird there. Um, yeah, it feels very much like the TCG. And I've played at times on online some players that were new that didn't know how to play a TCG because they were just making these terrible plays one after another
In Pocket.
in Pocket. Yeah,
Are you playing when you played? Have you been playing in the beginner or the TCG player?
I've done beginner. I did whatever the other ones did. I did it once, and I had like my Marowak deck with one EX in it, and then I pair it into Mewtwo, like fully
Yeah.
developed. And I was like, okay, I'm never going here again until I get a deck that can compete. So maybe I'm wrong
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. I've mostly been playing TCG player.
Okay.
That's like the main thing I've been doing. I've been playing a decent amount, not like an absurd amount, but I'm playing a decent amount of that, and it's enjoyable. I don't have all the. So in terms of the decks I played, also there's a 15 deck cap. That is a big issue in my opinion. Like I
Yeah.
hope they expand that. Right now it's not a massive issue, but it's definitively an issue. If they have if in a year from now when we'll just say 4 more sets, that is then a big issue.
Yeah. No, we're
And
gonna
also
be
the menus. I keep getting confused by the menus.
when you pick the deck and stuff.
Yeah,
Um.
well, there's like the 5 things at the bottom, and like I don't know, they're not that confusing, but
Oh, the battle and whatnot. You mean in the collection and friends thing at the bottom that's always there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 15 decks is not a lot. I deleted my starter deck because I had my own fighting deck that is better. And then I have like a fire, a water, lightning, a dark, and a darkness and grass for the challenges or the missions. And then I started what I had for a Mewtwo, the Dragonite, in the Koga Arbok deck that I put the cards I had in so I could see what I was missing. I wish you could. You can't put your missing cards in. From what I can tell, I wish you could, and then it would just have it grayed out, so I would know what I'm targeting. I have to have a separate list somewhere of the cards I want. So that would be nice for the deck builder. Have the slots tagged for what the card should be.
Yeah, and there's a wish list thing,
Okay.
um, but that I think that has to be of cards you already own. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird, and that's presumably there for trading in the future. And I guess I'm not exactly sure, but
Yeah. Oh, I think
the
you could
decks.
also use the wish list, I heard, with the Wonder Picks so that it'll show up if it's on your wish list when you look at the Wonder Picks too. I haven't done that, but
Okay.
and then there's the rental decks. Have you used the rental decks, by the way?
I have not. I think they're supposed to mostly be there for the challenges, but they're kind of mediocre, I think. And I haven't touched them.
Okay, yeah, I haven't done them. I think I'm going to use them for the challenges. At this point, I have Mewtwo, I have Koga, and I have Wigglytuff. So when I had to beat like the first of under each of the challenge or the first under the advanced challenge or whatever is to beat the grass deck, and I have my only deck that's at all anything is the fighting deck. It wasn't good, right? And
Mhm.
so I consider breaking out a rental deck, but I didn't. Eventually, I got a win by finally getting the coin flip. So I also had games with the where like I had multiple games to win, except I would flip like 4 to 6 tails in a row, and if it only like one of them had been heads, I would have won. So that's part of why I don't want to live in the Marowak world.
Yeah. And we'll talk about Dragonite. Dragonite's also kind of random. But I have my two challenges. One is win with only a deck with only fire Pokemon, and
Okay.
win with a deck with only lightning Pokemon. And the rental decks they don't beat those criteria. So I can't, like, they're not going to do the challenge for
Oh,
me.
only right because
So
I had the Wigglytuff deck, but which is
yeah,
lightning, but it's got but Wigglytuff is a colorless, so it's a lot of
yeah.
yeah. And you don't have the
And
you're going to have to open Charizard and Pikachu decks to get enough fire and lightning Pokemon to
yeah.
build a viable deck, probably.
Oh, what have you thought about the auto battle thing?
I mean, when I used it a little bit when I was re-rolling, um, and if I wanted to keep going in some of the missions and the battling,
Hmm.
so I did it that just so I would say auto battle and I would do something else for like 3 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was doing to complete the challenges mostly, and that worked. And I was just able to kind of not focus on that because I want to get to like the what I consider the actual gameplay
Yeah.
against other people. So yeah, and then I can't believe in one of there's the guide, and one of the things is ending your turn, which is like kind of weird. But anyways,
Yeah.
so the decks I have the Marowak deck. I have Marowak, yes. I have Dragonite, the regular. I don't have like, I just have one which has some like Farfetch in it. Yeah, I don't have Sabrina yet, so that's like not great. I think I do have two Giovannis, and I have all the trainers from the shop as well, of course.
Yeah.
And then I also played it with Weezing. With Weezing, are you gonna play Darkness Energy
Um. Oh,
and Dragonite?
because then you have 3 energies, right?
Yeah. I played a game with
So
Dragonite, and I got like Dragonite by turn 4, which is where you like when you have the energies, and I hit like 4 lightning energies in a row and just like couldn't attack. So that was kind of bad without the Weezing. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, Dragonite is water, colorless, in like water, lightning, colorless. So you could have the darkness, but obviously, it makes it more random. So I don't know what I'll do about that. That's a good question on that one. But the attack is obviously just insanely random, right? It chooses a random Pokemon 4 times, does 50 damage to each time, but so you don't know what you're hitting and you have no control over it. It's I you
yeah,
know
it's pretty solid though, assuming you're getting damage out of it. Theoretically, you could like if your opponent has two Pokemon to play that each have like 50 HP, they could hit this. It could hit the same one 4 times and just like knock it out,
yeah
not to make damage to the other one, which is kind of awkward. But most of the time, it's a pretty strong attack. And if you attack with it twice, you should win. If you attack with it once, there's a good chance you'll win as well if you've already done a little bit of damage already. So Dragonite is very strong, and it feels random, but it's not like bad. I mean, it is random, but in terms of taking prizes, it's pretty consistently taking them. It's not really getting knocked out, one-shotted much. It could be by the main decks I've been seeing are Mewtwo. So you've mostly been playing against the computer, you said?
yes mostly the missions. I've done a couple battles against people each day, but not as much because my
And what
deck
have you been seeing in those battles?
definitely probably half the time it's Mewtwo EX with Gardevoir.
Yeah.
So which is why I'm like, I don't want to do it too much because my deck is now I'm winning games maybe half the time, but obviously it's you got to flip heads, and a lot of the players aren't experienced players, I think too.
Yeah. And then I've been seeing Pikachu EX some as well as some like Articuno EX. Um,
I've seen
yeah.
the fire one with the supporter, right?
Oh yeah, Moltres. Oh, Blaine.
Is that the supporter? What is the supporter in the Charizard? It helps with the stage ones, right?
Yeah, Blaine, which increases the
Yeah,
damage.
yeah. So that one's
Yeah,
been
I've not
tricky,
seen that.
and I've run into some of the grass with Ericas and stuff as well.
Okay. I've seen Charizard EX a decent amount as well. Charizard EX and Moltres EX, which like doesn't seem like that good. It seems okay, but not
Yeah.
not like super strong. Pikachu EX is so scary because they go second. By the way, going second seems like so good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, going for yeah, I've seen some Charizard as well, and that's been a deck that I've done pretty well against. It just doesn't set up well enough from what I've from playing against it for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd probably be more balanced if you could attach an energy on your first turn going first, I think.
Yeah, and then not attack, right?
Right, and not attack. Although I was able to
So if you,
attack turn one going first.
with Misty,
Yes, which I guess I didn't
okay, you
think you
can
were
do that.
allowed
So I
to.
wasn't sure if you could do that. I was wondering, and you obviously need to get like lucky to do that. Well, I know it depends what you're attacking with, but if it's like Articuno EX, you need at least two heads.
Right. So I was really surprised. I figured, all right, I'm going to play the Misties, get some energy attached, and all of a sudden the attack option was lit up. So I'm like, all right, I better do that then. So that was I was surprised, but I don't know if there's anything else that lets you attack turn one going first.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that overall the trainers have felt pretty interesting. Like Sabrina, Giovanni, red card as well. It's not like super annoying. And Potion X Speed has been probably my favorite card so far, in terms of like card
Yes.
design, because it's an interesting take on Switch. Switch is a pretty it kind of like removes your tree cost to some extent, right? In the regular Pokemon
Right.
TCG, but with X Speed, the tree cost still matters a lot, but you can like play around with it.
X speed's very important, especially because most of my what I'm playing with two energy attackers, and there's no energy acceleration when I'm playing with. So discarding that energy can be very problematic as the game goes on. So X speed and the fact sometimes, and you can stack it as well, which I at times needed to do. So yeah, that's been super important there. I mean, at this point, I've had my early decks. I was playing like Pokédex and Hand Scope and Red Card, like two copies of each, because I didn't have like any good Pokemon. So at least I've gotten rid of like Hand Scope, I think, from all my decks at this point.
Hey, Scope, you can combo with the red card. It can be useful. I think
It can
it's,
be.
it's not that bad. I mean, I also like cut it from my decks, but there's some value. Like if you, I don't know, I'm trying to get better at hand reading, to figure out what to like kind of figure stuff out, but still not quite there. But and anyways, I think. Oh, so Weezing has definitely been probably my favorite Pokemon so far because what it does is it has 110 HP, does have 3 retreat, which is bad, but you have the Koga, which scoops it up to your hand. And it says once during your turn, if it's in the active, you can poison your opponent's active, so you can get value if you aren't attaching energy. Then also you can do 30 for 1 darkness, and this is solid. Like 30 for 1 isn't like that good. I mean, Farfetch'd is doing more in a basic for colorless, but this is plus the ability. It's a pretty solid damage output, especially if you're going first.
Mhm.
You can attach energy to turn one. So stage ones that attack for 1 are pretty nice. But also
Yes.
you have the healing aspect with Koga, and you have the you are hitting weakness on Mewtwo EX, and you're not getting one shot by Pikachu EX. So those are both really nice. And you're not even getting one shot by Pikachu EX with Giovanni. So you are surviving there. And I think Weezing's felt that's been very fun so far for me.
Yeah, that's a deck that's something that I'd like to start playing some Weezing. So definitely, which is why with Dragonite probably play some Weezing, and the Koga deck with that is definitely appealing. And obviously pulling the Mewtwo packs, it's there. So that's as at least I'm hoping I'll get to it. So yeah, I think look, there's some fun decks all in all. I will say. I wish I had more cards so I could play around with things. I'm still very much in the getting cards, but I think in terms of design, it's not bad. The set of trainers I think they provide is pretty good. It's very minimal, right? Your two researchers, two Pokeballs, and maybe something, well, and probably and two of the probably 2 potions at this point, 2 X speeds at least, because I don't have, you don't want too many Pokemons. A lot of the decks that you get provided in the game have a lot of Pokemon, but I think they're going too far. So, you have a solid right now. As we get more trainers, it'll help give some more variety, but it's a solid set we have to work with, I think. So, and like Farfetch'd, you can always slot a copy or two of that in your deck to help fill things out. And actually,
Yeah.
for 2 attack cost decks, having at least one Farfetch'd, I think I'm liking a lot. I need a single energy attacker.
Yeah, Farfetch is a pretty good card, um, and it's not like insanely broken or anything. I mean, it's like really
No.
good, but it's a fun card as well. I feel like the EXs are too good. Like I didn't think the Xs were gonna be like super. Like I thought they would be like solid, but they're like clearly really good and kind of difficult to deal with. Ultimately, the 3 point system with Pokemon that give up 2 points that kind of causes some issues. Where if your opponent like playing an EX means your opponent needs to do like needs to take an extra point every single game, which is obviously a big deal. So I think that's kind of awkward. I would almost like to see it being, or it's not guaranteed that they need to take an extra point every game, but most of the time. And I kind of like it. I almost want it to be like a 4 point game. Obviously, that makes it longer, but that might make for a better feel of the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, games where you can attack with a single prizer, and then force them to knock out an EX, it helps a lot, right? In trying to like not have your EX till you've given them 2 prizes is a big deal. So and obviously the randomness of setting up, you don't have as much agency as you do in the regular TCG because you're not searching your deck, which helps the game go faster. So I think that's a good call. But yeah, the EXs, it's a big deal for sure. But that's that's good or bad. That's the way Pokemon, the TCG's always been built around some of these big cards have been make or break things. And still things are the EXs are still dominate what's playable and not.
Yeah. But we'll see what Pokemon does in the future. Abilities are something that I feel like are kind of lackluster so far, but we'll see where that goes in the future. And then
Yeah.
what else was there? I feel like there's something else I want to talk about, but I don't remember what it is.
I mean, energy acceleration is very limited. It's always big in the game. I mean, like a lot of these, so these high energy attack costs are, as I'm scrolling through, there's a lot of 3s and 4 energy attack costs on cards. They're really rough to make happen. And the fact there's no rare candy to speed up the stage 2s, maybe it'll stay like that. Maybe that's the best thing, not to have it. I don't know. It just obviously it takes a while, which is kind of the thought idea behind the game. So, if it stays kind of slow, low to the ground, that's not a bad thing. I don't know if they can resist the temptation to up the speed of these games, though.
What do you mean speed
Well,
of the
how
like?
quickly you can get to your big attacks, right? Because
Oh yeah. I
because
mean,
like
there are some attacks that like Pikachu EX is really fast and really strong, and definitely something that I've struggled to deal with like anything, unless you're also playing something that has high HP that can survive a hit. But it's doing 90 theoretically, or potentially 100 with Giovanni. It's not always doing 90, but it pretty much always was doing 90. It's not that hard to be consistently doing that. So I feel like you have Pikachu EX is just a super strong. I don't see it like all the time. I see a lot of Mewtwo EX, but Pikachu EX seems really strong.
yeah, I haven't seen run into a lot of it, but yes, that's scary. Articuno EX, if the opponent like pops off Misty early game, can put you in a huge hole too. But other cards, like with the Mewtwo, they have to get the Gardevoir set up, so it gives you a little bit of time to get going, and you're hoping you get going before they get going.
Yeah, once they're set up though, because you don't need to draw into energy cards, you can just like there isn't any stopping the Mewtwo really. Or once you stop it, there isn't like there's no. I feel like a lot of the time there's not counterplay. Like with Mewtwo EX specifically, you either set it up or you don't set it up, and your opponent can either deal with it or not deal with it, and it just kind of whatever. It doesn't feel like at that point there are that many decisions to be made. You just kind of doing what you're doing, and you can't really get in the other person's way too much, and that doesn't feel super fun.
Yeah, and obviously, look, for a lot of these games, retreating is a bigger deal, I think, than in the regular TCG. Is what I'm finding because
Yeah,
because you're doing damage at a lower level a lot of the times, right? You're
Yeah, and there's not gusting.
right. There's the Sabrina, but that's you get it's like
Yeah, well,
escape
there is
rope,
gusting. There's the what's it called?
and so what Pidgeot or something.
No, there's the um Weeping Bell. That's not it. Victory Bell. There we go. Yeah, the stage 2 grass Pokemon, which I've never seen anyone play.
Okay.
So
And that one lets you choose.
yeah, I think it's a basic, but it's a stage 2. It might need to be in the active. I don't remember. It's like it's kind of awkward, but it seems like it could have value. But also gusting's like it's useful. It would be nice if you could have it like consistently. It would be powerful. But if you can't really have it consistently and you need to set up less stuff, then it's probably not going to be what you want.
Yeah, and making the games again these decks super powerful, super strong is I think what they're trying not to do. So, a card like Boss's Orders in the TCG, we know how powerful it is. Keeping that cards like that out of pocket might be the better thing to do. All in all, as long as they keep, just keep that top level out. Because like obviously, Boss's Orders is a tremendous card, and we know how much they nerfed research in this game, which they nerfed it incredibly, right? Um, so Sabrina is Boss's Orders, and I'd like to see him kind of keep things at that level myself.
Yeah, me too. But I think potentially some more useful abilities could be cool. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Like also it's gonna be kind of weird when they do like they're gonna add more trainers at some point, and if they add a new like a new staple trainer, either a new draw supporter or a new setup item, that's gonna drastically change the game because there's such a small card pool right now.
yeah. I mean, right now right. I mean, most decks you have almost the exact same set of trainers in so many decks. So it'll be good to get some variety. Hopefully they make it careful that they don't make things overpowered. But more of that would be good. I think. I finding the 20 card deck size with two copies of each to be pretty good, all in all. And you start with enough cards, it's not terrible. I was concerned with the randomness of two copies each, but 20 cards, you start with five, you draw one on your turn, so you're six out of the 20. The odds of getting enough to get going, I think, are okay. Do you think?
Also, no prizing is like so. I really like that.
Yeah,
You want searching your deck, so ultimately it doesn't matter that much, but it can matter with Pokeball, and it can like that eventually you will draw the card that you
right.
need. So if you buy enough turns, then you will get there eventually.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact that right there are no prize cards, I like that. I still am kind of at times I'm like, okay, I wonder what I'll get for my prize card, and then I
Yeah,
look.
yeah, I've definitely been like, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what I'm expecting to happen, but there are like, and I kept getting confused that potion was heal 20 instead of heal 30, and I kept making misplays with that. I was like, okay, it's like my opponent's got a Farfetch and I got a Farfetch. They hit into me. They did 40. I have 60 HP. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to heal 30 with my potion. So I'll survive and heal 20. And I'm like, oh, that just didn't do anything. And so that's happened a few times. But I'm learning. I'm figuring stuff out.
Getting used to it. Yeah, look, I
Reading
mean,
the cards.
yeah, read the cards, right? I do want to talk. Look, I want to talk about the timer in the game a little bit, and I think that
Hmm.
we're at that point. You have, I think, what 90 seconds per turn to do everything, right? Is the way it seems to me.
Hmm.
So I think well, two things. The way when you go up against the computer, it's kind of okay. Well, there's no timer; it's kind of chill. But when you go up against a person, then you see the 90-second timer. Also, when they're taking an action, like the screen all of a sudden turns red, like
Oh,
waiting
I
for
think that's with
opponent.
coin flips. It says waiting for a point. When they get like coin flip, it turns red. I thought it was like, I don't know. I had no idea what was happening
I
the
mean,
first few times.
because red's means there's a problem, right? So it's like, well,
Yeah.
what's going on? But it's everything's fine. They just didn't, it takes them a few seconds to flip the coin, um, which is fine. I kind of it's a bit silly that you got to do it. I guess it's cool, but it's just wasting time probably. Um, so in the way also when like waiting for opponent, it's pretty decent sized text, that little oval that they put at the top of the screen, and it covers up stuff like that the information I'd like to know at times. I
Oh yeah,
forget.
and energy like disappears sometimes when certain things are happening.
Yeah.
Trainers disappear while they're happening. It's like it's kind of weird. It just kind of strange. Like there is only so much space to work with, and I understand that, and it's readable the stuff, which is really nice and important. But ultimately, it's kind of there are just some things that feel wrong and just kind of weird and out of place. And things that I would like them to that I would have expected to be fixed. I mean, honestly, I thought Pocket was either going to be really bad or really good, and it's I think it's definitely in between, right? I think you'd probably agree. It's like it's okay,
I mean, I think
it's
it's
pretty
pretty
solid.
good. I look, if we compare it to live, it's it's
Yeah,
better
no,
than
it's
live is
much better.
now
I'd say
after
this is
two
like a
years.
7 or 8 out of 10, and I'd say Live's like a 4 out of 10, with a 10 out of 10 being good. That's usually how it works, but YouTube it's different. Anyway, so would you like kind of agree with that? Would you say Live's like worse?
Live is what worse
I
than
said
what?
4 out of 10.
No, I guess it's a 4 out of 10 now. It was. It took them a lot of work to get. It took them like 2 years to get to a 4 out of 10, which that's really sad.
Yeah,
It's
and also
just
I think like Live, like the Pokemon TCG is fun, so that's like really why you'd play Live, because you enjoy the Pokemon TCG, and
right.
Pocket isn't just a new way to play, but it's a new game, and they put a lot of thought into the mechanics of the game, and it clearly shows that there's passion behind this, there's greed behind this, there's like lots of different things. It's very weird, and I can't tell exactly why this has been made. If it's like Pokemon's like, we want to, like, I'm sure they like obviously they want money, and that's like, that drives a lot of the different things they do. Didn't drive Live, well, it kind of did because they wanted to save money, but
right.
that was not something with like a lot of passion behind it. I don't think. And but Pocket definitely has, like, there's a lot of care put into a lot of different aspects of it. The cards are unique. The arts are unique. They're not all unique, but some are unique, and that's really interesting. I think some people don't like it, but that's the point. It's supposed to be something special, and it's special, and it's cool.
Yeah, no, they've done a good job. And look, live, I mean, like PTCGO was like a 6 or 7, I guess, out of 10. So live pockets at
Is
least.
it? I don't know. I'd say it was like a 5.
You think, well, it
I don't.
depends what
I
you
honestly
want.
I think PCGO and Pokemon TCG Live are pretty similar in how good they are. I think like PCGO, like, you couldn't really get the decks, which is a pretty big deal to me. Like, I want to just be able to play the game, and you couldn't like do that in Pokemon TCG Online to the same degree. And also the trading was like so bad. It was and there were like bots. There was some weird stuff.
yeah, well, I
And it was
mean,
really ugly looking. Like, it was really old and outdated looking. Live is not like it looks like a game that is something that it could like come out today. PTGO didn't come out today, but it looked dated because it looked dated because it was dated.
yeah, well, look, it was a 10-year-old game, so I'm kind of giving a pass on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
aesthetics. It worked though, right? It basically worked. So it did.
yeah, yeah,
It had limited features, so that definitely drops for that. But
yeah. I mean, it had more than live.
it's right, and probably will have more than live ever does. Live someday will add expanded. I don't know if there'll be other
Maybe.
form.
Yeah.
Look, they'll add it at some point. Whether it
I'm
actually
trying to think
works,
like me. If I procrastinate on something that like isn't something super crucial, then it just kind of never happens. Like, there's a video
well,
I've been like kind of working on in the background, but not really. I just have like had other stuff going on, and it's like, I'll push it back, and it's been like 8 months. So
look, look, there's enough complaints. They're just going to release expanded with all the cards already kind of broken, and all the cards that aren't playable are probably completely broken. But they're just going to say we've had enough complaints here. Enjoy. And it's just going to crash
yeah,
live left and right. But we don't want to talk about that because that's like it's too depressing. Look, Pocket. Now, one of your complaints on PTCGO was the accessibility to cards and decks, and that's still the big question with Pocket. To what extent can we get things? Obviously, with when you first open your account, you get a lot of cards immediately. So the question is going to be in 3 months or whatever when the next full set releases. I think the mini set's partly going to have some new cards plus alternate art cards. So I don't think I'm not expecting a ton of cards that you're going to have to get. But with the next full set, if you're only getting 2 packs or 2.5 packs a day as you get thanks, it may be really tough to be competitive, to be viable without spending money. I just don't know how that's going to work.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. I hope it is something that can be enjoyed by free to play players. Ultimately, if it's something that can't be, enjoyed by free-to-play players, that'll be a big issue because a lot of people won't play it at that point. They'll just kind of stop.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming most people are free-to-play right now and just kind of doing stuff and enjoying it, but we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell. And neither you or I played Go, and obviously that in terms of I assume the model for making money is more comparable to that, right? Which we don't know how that works. So, um, but I assume they made a lot of money off Go because it was like the biggest thing in the world for a while. So,
Yeah.
the number of downloads for Pocket I think have been insane. So, there's whether 3 6 months from now how big is Pocket, that's all some of the things that time will tell. But look, it's a good start to things. I think how quickly it gets updated and improved for the game, which you'd like to see the app just get better, I think is a big deal for
Yeah, I
you.
mean, it's not like if this is how good it is, with like cards that are like a bit more interesting but not that much interesting, 5 years from now, I think that'll be disappointing. I'm expecting within a year. No, I must expect. Yeah, I'll say my expectation is within a year. I expect it to be noticeably better. Not that it's bad, but it's okay. But I expect it to be have some. I expect it to look pretty different in a year from now. I mean, live from like when it was first came out to a year from that, it looked pretty different. And I expect a similar thing with Pocket. I expect that it can take the next step. I hope it will, and I think it kind of. I don't know if it necessarily needs to, but in order to reach the same level as Pokemon Go, I think it um needs to have a lot of success. And if Pokemon's approaching it the same way as they are approaching Pokemon Go, or they have been, then it'll definitely improve to that level, and they'll keep adding new stuff that is interesting and just have a good and interesting create a community around it, because right now Pocket doesn't really like it, just this thing that's kind of within the space of collectors and players and Pokemon fans and the mobile game community and stuff like that. But it's just kind of this weird nebulous floating thing that hasn't established its identity yet.
Yeah, I mean, a couple just briefly because I know we're going to be wrapping up here. I think the fact that like the thanks system and the friends system, they're trying to make it that we're all in it together, working together, which I think is a good thing. So hopefully it stays positive and doesn't become toxic. And
Yeah.
hopefully, like, there's no emotes in the game play, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Oh, no ranking. I love that. I'm gonna say I think that's awesome. I am very happy there's no ranked mode. I think the game would be much worse. I said this about live. I said this about PTGO. Saying it again. I think ranked mode is bad. I think I was playing Pokemon TCG Live. I haven't been playing that much since Pocket came out, but I've been playing some just hit the top of the battle pass. And my opponent was like, I was like, okay, I'm attacking, and I was taking it, and I was like, okay, it was a Raging Bolt. EX was actually a mirror, and I, just did my damage. Obviously had it, discard the energy, click the prizes, boom, they conceded. I was like, this is literally like a quarter of a second away from the game ending. You're not speeding up the game. You're
yeah.
not saving anyone time. You're just doing this just to annoy me. Like come on, I get you can be sometimes, yeah, a bad day or whatever, but still.
Yeah. Look, basically, I think only one time have I not received a thanks at the end of a game. So
Oh,
that
I like sometimes thanks people.
I always thanks people. Uh-oh, and I edited my deck here by accident, so I tapped my
Oh yeah,
phone.
that's kind of. I think you don't. It
I
doesn't
thought you had to
autosave
say
though.
save. No, it didn't. It just said okay. It didn't have a button to undo it.
I think if you don't say
Oh, I
okay,
can just
it'll.
say cancel. Okay, good. Yeah, go back without saving. Okay, good. Save it. Like so. Look, it's generally a positive community now. Hopefully, it stays that way. I will twofold, and also it's interesting that you don't link to a Play Pokemon account. You can link to your Nintendo account. So I don't
Oh
know
yeah, and I
what
haven't done that. Oh, you don't. Do you
you can
have a
create
Nintendo?
one without. Anyone can create one even without like a Nintendo product. So like a Switch.
Yeah.
So
So I might link that, but probably not. I mean, it's
or
kind of
you
interesting. Hopefully, it'll be on the Switch. That'll be cool. I
I
think live,
heard I think
obviously.
that I think the devs said it will not come to the Switch is what I've heard,
Oh,
which
okay.
is
That's
but
kind of weird. I mean, well, that's not exactly weird. Theoretically, there's gonna be another Nintendo console soon, so it could be like, oh, it's on that, but that doesn't exactly sound like what they're saying.
I honestly will say that in terms of I find searching the way you like pick cards with my finger on the phone in scrolling around is awkward. I would like to hopefully you'll play it on the computer as a full computer game because
Yeah.
it would be easier to operate, I think. So I don't think that's going to happen, but that's just one of my thoughts. It's it did remind me alive the first time I played a game against an actual person. As soon as the game started, it said my opponent has. I got the red screen. And it said my opponent's lost connection, so I sat there for 90 seconds. So it's like,
Oh.
fortunately, that was not the sign of things to come. It hasn't happened since, but that was a bad feeling when that happened.
Yeah. You could like switch away, like sometimes because I'm on my
Yeah.
phone and on my like well sometimes I look up cards as I'm playing on my phone because I'm like,
Okay.
wait, how much does that do? I want to make sure I don't get like knocked out here. And then it like kind of like gets a little wonky. It's not that bad, but
Yeah. So I
can get a
don't.
little weird.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. So anyway, but that fortunately that hasn't been a recurring problem. So I think some phones are having some issues, but I think you and I are avoiding the issues. So with that,
Yeah. Ultimately, I haven't heard too many issues. Oh, it's Wonder Pick time. Are you
uh,
spending your Wonder Hourglasses? I feel like
yes, yeah, I decided to spend them. I think they're worth. The question's going to be once
actually I won't Wonder Pick
I
now.
want to get a
Should be fine.
deck or two I like right now, and then at that point start saving the things like the hourglasses and the tickets, right? So that
Mhm.
I'm ready for the next set. But I still have a deck or two that I like yet, so I think I need to keep working towards it. So I get let's see, will I get a Meowth here? So I will do this at no cost.
Oh, let's see. Do you
Oh,
want the Meowth or do you want
I
the
don't.
the shop tickets that can't do anything?
Yeah, so I mean the hourglass, the Wonder Hour thing would be the best thing, right? Oh, and I got a shop ticket that appears to that now that's my 10th shop ticket, so I can only spend 9. So thank you very much, Pocket, for
You're
that.
welcome.
So yeah, so anyway, um, yeah. So anyway, look,
Quality stuff. Quality
it's off
stuff.
to a good start, Pocket, all in all. So hopefully the game gets better. I've actually haven't been doing my challenges the last couple of days in live, but I've already completed the battle pass, so there's not a lot of rewards to that. Then the next set in live drops, so I don't know. It's tough to put enough time into multiple free play accounts to actually make progress. So I'm going to kind of
Oh no, there's a solution. You know the solution. You know the solution.
spend
On your
money.
opponent's turn, play on your opponent's turn in Pokemon DC Live. Play Pokemon
Live,
DC Pocket.
so I'll have a Pocket game and a live game going on my phone and my computer at the same time.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that will. Yeah, so then I will test out whether that I might hit that new 20-minute timer limit then with that, right? Because I'm not paying
Yeah. On
attention to the
both.
game.
On both.
Yes.
Um,
So anyway, I mean, it's a good start. Pleased with it, and there's some good, interesting decks. I don't know how, with a limited set of cards and stuff, how interesting it's going to get in the next couple of weeks. That's part of the question, right?
yeah, like 3 weeks from now, I hope I'm still enjoying playing against people. It's been decently fun, and I'm getting more decks as well. I'm sure. Like it slows down, but it's not like it's at a screeching halt right now. And I assume it's not gonna like slow down that much more than like getting 2 packs a day and like two Wonder Picks a day or whatever. So and it's a little more than that right now. But that's kind of what you're looking at, and you level up by playing and doing some other things. We can just level up by winning games. I think it's a bunch. Do you know if the amount you need to level up increases the amount of
That's
XP points?
I don't know. That's a good question, and I think
What's it say for you? How many do you need in total for your level?
what do I do? Click on my little
Yeah.
my thing. So I need 420 for level 12.
Okay, so I need 540. So it does go up. Um,
Oh, so I
five.
need okay. I because it started at 0 and I have to get 420 is what I'm
Yeah.
at. Okay, so it keeps which makes
Wait, so
sense.
you're at what out of
I'm level
420? I'm
12
at
at 285 out of 420.
okay. Yeah, and I'm at 25 out of 540. So like it'll take a bunch of games to grind up to the next level.
Yeah,
Um, but
and then we'll see
yeah.
when they drop sets in the future. I'm assuming they're going to give us a little bit of bump in packs. I hope
Well, I
so.
think the solo battles correspond to genetic apex from what it says genetic
Oh,
apex and it says expansion, so you'll be able to do there'll be new solo battles so you can get a bunch of stuff from
I
that.
hadn't. Okay, well, that's a big deal then, because obviously you get a lot of tickets and a lot of experience and stuff through those. So okay, so hopefully, grinding through those isn't the most fun thing, but yeah, so that'll be important to developing our accounts, is keeping, a fresh set of that will be very important. Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know.
But anyways, I think the future looks pretty good for Pocket. But all time will tell. I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but this wasn't exactly it, but it's good. And I'm excited for the future.
All right. Take care.